What a way to pack a television. Do you think the Postal Service actually cares if it says do not drop or crush? Do you think they care what this side up says? Do you think they even look at that? This should be one of those Motorola portable TVs with the handle on one side. And I have most all of the Motorola factory service data manuals, so this should be a interesting fix if it's not just a box of glass and plastic pieces. It has that cigarette flavor. I love my tobacco flavor. Wow, did it actually make it? See, they put the, it looks like they put the CRT face down. Like I say, not that the Postal Service, and they wrapped it with plastic, bubble wrap to contain all the plastic shards and glass. How considerate. See, I'm not really quite sure what this actual layer does except contain it when it blows up. This offers no padding. What's the point of this? Maybe to seal the cigarette odor in? Well, it's getting through. Anyway, looks like it's in decent shape. Did it make it? Okay, so there are little shards of plastic. At least I hope it's plastic. But it looks like it might have made it. Might. Looks to be in decent shape, although there is stuff rattling around inside and stuff falling out of it that's like plastic powder almost. I just hope the CRT is good. If the CRT survived, we have a a chance. So it looks like it was dropped on this side. It was dropped that way because the tube is like that. Looks like it's in good shape. Low hour, looks like it made it. I have a suspicion that this white stuff might be a broken up burnout sand resistor. 1965 Motorola portable 12-inch black and white. Vintage television set, portable television set with built-in handle for convenience. Says the chassis is TS454, baby blue, light blue, powder blue, antennae and handle. It's in really good shape for a TV, vintage TV that's this old. It's in really good shape. So we want to fix it. We want to fix the old TV. Make working again vintage TV for us to enjoy. Here's the factory service data. I have most all of the Motorola factory service manuals, so don't really need the SAMs on this. So this, you know, these factory service manuals are a different format than the SAMs, but often much more comprehensive. They're a little bit different layout. I like SAMs because I know I got all the supplements here. I pulled everything on the TS454. Now in the previous unboxing clip we saw some kind of weird plasticky stuff leaking out all over the place. And I have a feeling that's possibly one of these two fusible resistors might have overheated and broken up. Maybe that diode is shorted or the capacitor is shorted. This has got 3 electrolytics. It's got an electrolytic filter choke, electrolytic resistor, electrolytic. So the way this is a little bit different configuration than the SAMs, but it's the same thing. So what we need to do is power it up and see what our wattage draw is and see what it does. One of them's for the filaments, the other one's for the B+, and they call that one fusible. So maybe something shorted here and blew that up. Now it does have that cigarette glaze odor, air freshener. Just want to get in the car and hot box it. Looks like it might actually have a little bit of a cigarette burn right there, but otherwise it's in excellent condition. Usually something like this I would bring up on a variac, but since it's already been powered up, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll see what's up with it and then make that determination. Okay, here we go. Okay, do we have anything visible going on in here? Not that I see. What would our filament string be? 400 milliamps? If our tube filaments are 400 milliamps, that explains that right there. And it's not moving. It's a power factor. Power factor's 1, so it's a purely resistive load. So that means that we're probably only seeing the filaments. Purely resistive load. Look at that. 48.2 watts, 48. It's the same. The VA and the wattage is the same. So peering through the back, all we have is filaments. So nothing obviously is getting to the B+. Let's pop it open and see if my suspicion about that white stuff being the fusible resistor. Okay, well here it is with the back off again, and as I suspected, as the autofocus on this camera finally died, you can see right there. Are you really not focusing? You can see right there where the resistor is gone, and is that asbestos? I bet that is. Well, it's gone. It's like blown out of there. Check out how this resistor, which is right there, like disintegrated into this weird kind of dust. It's almost like it was chewed up by something, but you know, this is another reason why I work on this stuff outside, between the cadmium and the lead and the asbestos and the possible PCBs in the old capacitors. It's not a good idea to invite this stuff into your house. Original Motorola tube. This thing looks really low hour. Motorola really made good stuff. They really did. Very very high quality. My first initial thought is, let me take the compressor to this and blow it out, but you see those all asbestos fibers there? I'm not 100% sure that's what that is, but asbestos is a fibrous mined mineral, so that looks like asbestos to me. I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not going to blow it off. I don't want to screw with it. I'm going to try and keep it as the disturbance of it as minimal as possible. And there it is, TS454. 10 of 65. So asbestos is a mined mineral, and the problem with it is the fibers are like barbed and they get into your lungs and your body can't clean them out, and they end up kind of agitating the tissue and causing cancer. And I actually have a piece of mined asbestos here that I got from a friend who's into minerals and works at a big mine. I should bring that out and you can see what it looks like when it's in its rock form. This is kind of interesting. The horizontal hold control is in its own little thing that's like a tube socket. It's pretty cool. All original tubes all the way around. Just don't breathe. This is a piece of asbestos rock directly out of the mine, and you can kind of see the similarity there. There are different types of asbestos, and of course this is unprocessed raw, and this is probably processed to some extent. So just kind of looking in here, this being a very low hour set, premium rated, made in the USA, at least the tube is. I don't know how you have a premium rated tube, but okay. I don't see any capacitors in this. It uses a lot of couplets. They actually talk about in the factory service manual how to rebuild those if they're not available, which is interesting. The only capacitor that might potentially be a problem is this one and that white one down there. And this channel is not about recapping bulk recaps anyway. We do diagnosis and repair here. So we want to get our diagnosis on with this, and really those are the little asbestos hairs right there. And they also, you can't see the deadly ones. At least I think it's asbestos. I don't think it's fiberglass. But you know what? I don't want to find out. This would actually be a really good candidate to take to like the coin-op car wash and lightly pressure wash all this crap out of here and let them deal with the hazmat situation than me. But I won't do that. I'll just seal it back up and keep it in a safe place for now. Check this out. There's actually a pile of that stuff in the bottom of the case too. I wonder if that resistor violently died because of a short, or if it just was some kind of natural degradation. Anyway, instead of using a variac to bring this up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this big 140 50 ohm, 1 amp variable resistor. And I'm gonna watch the wattage on here, the voltage on the B plus, and we'll just turn it up a little bit at a time. So here goes. Let's see what happens to the asbestos dream here. Well, we got 95 volts already, and it's still all the way up at 150 ohms. And I hear the vertical. And we're only at 71 watts, so it's not a function of a shorted capacitor and overload at all. Oh, there's some raster there. And I've only got 93 volts, so let's start to turn this up and see what happens. I bet this thing's just gonna work. I have a feeling that resistor just died on its own accord. It just failed as a function of time. Because I was only up with this thing wide open at 118 watts. So let's see what the power factor is now. Power factor is 0.74. The volt amps is 146, 144. So the only time the power factor is going to be 1 is when there's a purely resistive load like filaments. There will always be some power factor issue with the rectification and all of that. So this set's good. It's just that resistor fell apart on its own. Yeah, what I did is just for now I took this thing way out in the yard and I put my respirator on and I blew it off with CO2. I don't want to tear it apart, but I also don't want to invite this kind of mystery crap into the house. Alright, let's see if it'll get analog channel 6.
Consecuencia positiva en tu vida. Entonces, tu sufrimiento a la mano de Dios se convierte en un testimonio. Un testimonio que tú vas a dar, que va a edificar a tu familia, que va a edificar a la gente que te rodea, a tu mundo.
Of course it does. Look at that lighted dial.
Ya no son pan y vino, sino el cuerpo.
This thing is so sensitive, it gets channel 6 analog in the house on the little antenna on the handle.
¡Ey! Es como si estuviera en una cantina y pues, yo no lo veo nada correcto. Se acostumbra referirnos al cuerpo sagrado como hostia y a la sangre preciosa de Cristo como el cáliz. Ahora, rápidamente, ¿qué vestidura deben los ministros extraordinarios de la Sagrada Comunión llevar?
Jeez, it sounds like the DNC debates.
Pasadena, I'm Jake Reiner, CBS 2 News.
All right, Jake, what a great story. Thank you. The man suspected of opening fire in the Del Almo shopping center in Torrance earlier this month has now been arrested. CBS 2's Christy Fajardo live in Torrance with exactly how police... Christy?
Yeah, Sarah, police here have known the name of the man they were looking for weeks, but say they didn't know where he was. but that changed this morning. Take a look. We want to show you this photo. It was given to us by Torrance Police. They say this is 18-year-old Jose Salazar. He was arrested this morning for suspected drug dealing and gave Redondo Beach police a false name. But they eventually realized who he really was and that he was wanted for attempted murder in Torrance. Now, you may recall the chaotic scene on June 3rd at the Del Amo Mall. Panicked shoppers running for cover, fearing a mass shooting. Instead, police say only one person was shot and appeared to have been targeted. Witnesses at the time said that victim had been arguing with a woman before the shooting. He was treated and has since been released from the hospital. But police say Salazar got away and they've been looking for him. That is, until today.
And about 1:17 this morning, Redondo Beach PD.
This is this TV is like new old stock. This TV has hardly any hours on it. You know, I've dealt with a lot of TVs and a lot of new old stock sets, and I can tell by the way this performs and the way this looks, how bright and sharp it is, how little hum and buzz there is in the sound. I haven't had to adjust anything on it. I haven't adjusted anything but the vertical and horizontal hold, which I was twisting earlier in the video. And look at this. Actually, now that I look at it, the vertical's whacked out, isn't it? The vertical's way stretched on the bottom and way compressed on the top. I love my E. coli barbecue. Let me see.
And they say they're taking steps to make sure the fair is safe. San Diego County Fair officials believe the petting zoo at the fair could be the spot where 4 children became infected with E. coli. One of the 4 young victims, a 2-year-old boy who visited the fair on June 15th, did not survive.
He had something called hemolytic uremic syndrome, which is abbreviated HUS, and unfortunately he died on June 24th.
Fair officials are now trying to reassure the public the fair.
Put the generator on it real
Safety
quick.
and security is our...
Actually, so yeah, that is a little bit twacked. Let's see if we can dial that in a little bit. Well, maybe I stuck my foot in my mouth here. Okay, that's the top. That's the bottom. Need to reduce the horizontal a little bit. It's a little bit, horizontal's a little bit too wide. Need to bring it in. That's pretty close.
Russian President Vladimir Putin about election medals.
Take a look at the words. I did say it.
While in Asia, the president tweeted an invitation to North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un to meet at the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. The president said he would enter the North to shake Kim's hand.
Sure, I would. I'd feel very comfortable doing that. I would have no problem.
Nuclear talks between the two leaders collapsed at their second meeting in Vietnam in February. Kenneth Craig, New York.
You can see the
A Southern
data
California
here.
freeway trashed. Coming up, the overturned truck that caused a sig alert in the San Fernando Valley.
And how volunteers are breathing new life into a farm in the heart of the city.
And moisture is being pumped into Southern California this evening, all from what was once Tropical Storm Alvin. That's going to increase our rain chances heading into tomorrow. We'll talk all the details in your full forecast in a few minutes.
You can watch CBSN Los Angeles 24/7. It's easy to find us, and it's free. One way to watch us is on our website, cbsla.com. Look for the red Watch button.
Wife and 3 sons. He was 53 years old.
There are new disturbing developments in the case of a murdered student from El Segundo. A contractor says he turned down the suspect after he asked them to build him a secret room. A makeshift memorial is now growing in front of the Salt Lake City home where police say Mackenzie Lewick's body was burned. Ayula Ajayi surrendered yesterday as a SWAT team moved in with guns drawn. Contractor Brian Wolf saw the house on the news and immediately called police. He says a few months ago, Ajayi asked for a soundproof room with a thumbprint lock on the door.
Told me it was because his Mormon girlfriend was coming into town and he drank alcohol and he wanted to hide his alcohol. So that was another reason I was like, it's kind of weird that you need a soundproof room to listen to music and drink your alcohol in.
And again, Wolf says that he turned down that job. Ajayi's first court appearance is set for Monday.
Flames ripped through a family's multi-million-dollar home in Toluca Lake overnight. The LA Fire Department got this call just after midnight for the house on Strong Avenue near Sarah Street.
Isn't
right
this
off the
fun
134
watching
freeway.
the local Los Angeles news?
20 minutes to put out the flames.
See what else we can find here.
This is blackmail. Calendar's trying to force Lois to go back to him.
Hey, there's Perry Mason with no picture.
Claims they were forged by Jasper Fenton, huh?
Areas. This go-to secret weapon is a customer and stylist top favorite, valued at $40.
Okay, what's going on here?
It held 2 nights of debates among a crowded field of 20 candidates where Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and
there's
Elizabeth
RT.
Warren. RT's Caleb Muffin reports now on how the race is shaping up.
So, with too many candidates for just one stage, we have now seen the first 2 Democratic presidential debates. And it was quite a show, or should I say shows. And among the tactics used to get off to a good start with voters, Spanish.
Necesitamos incluir cada
See, I told you.
de esta economía. Este presidente ha atacado, ha demonizado los inmigrantes. Es inaceptable. Voy a cambiar este.
And when it came to the issue of minority rights, the candidates outmaneuvered each other with identity politics.
Sure.
Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with
a
better solution for oxygen therapy users, providing them with freedom and independence. Today, Inogen is the global market leader in portable oxygen concentrators. They have helped people to spend the same price next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. You can lock into this for 3 years.
3 years.
And that's going to be at the event price of $126.42 and the 6 easy payments of
on this.
Yes.
You're going to get some heat on this. This is the filter, though, too, isn't it? Right down there, so you kind of unscrew
that off,
and you can wipe this right off when it gets, when the air has too much, dirty air has been caught through there. You just hold it very easy.
This TV is awesome. Yeah, it was a simple repair. It was a quick, simple fix. Maybe a little bit of asbestos injection, but mesothelioma rocks. So this is a great TV. Low hour. This is what they look like when they're like 0 hour.
Is push this cool shot button, go over your whole head after you finish drying it. And
does that make sense?
Yes, Snylecoin McSnarzelboimler.